Hey guys, Pablo here, and welcome to another brand new video in which we're going to take a look at a new project that is called Brickken. Now, what fascinated me to create this video to introduce this project is because the concept of this whole project is different, something that I have never featured on my channel. And as we go through different projects, they have new concept, we learn how much more there is in the crypto, how much more we have to learn on every single stage. In this one, we have a completely different concept that is already here, like for a long time. It's just that we haven't seen a project that kind of have linked to that concept. But now that we have, I think it's time that we learn that concept. It's about the security tokens offerings, which is something that this project is actually going to provide. This project called Brickken is going to allow different companies, allow different organizations or projects to be able to create, to issue their security tokens, place or have their security token offerings. So of course we have to learn what security tokens actually is, or what security tokens offerings is, so that we can better understand this whole concept and this project. So this is what exactly we're going to do in this video. We're going to learn what Brickken is, what we already know what it's going to perform, but we have to understand what the security tokens and all that jumble actually is, so that we can better understand what this whole thing actually is about. Now we're going to take a look at their website, because they're currently having a private sale in which you can get their tokens at a discount. We're going to learn actually how we can take part in the private sale. We're going to take a look at their white paper, their team, what they plan on doing in the future. And overall, we're going to learn the whole concept. So without any further ado, we're going to get straight into it. Just note that anything I say in this video about this project or any other thing is not going to be an investment or a financial advice. And now that we have that covered, let's take a look at their website and white paper, and let's just start learning what this whole thing actually is. Now here I am at the official page. You can see there's a countdown for the private sale. You currently have a lot of time, so don't worry about that. But the thing is that the bar on how much the private sale have progress is reaching, so it's already 35% done. So you may not have like a lot of time into it, because it will probably be over before this countdown is actually reached. So we're going to learn how we can take part in this, the whole procedure. These are their ratings, and this is the video on how you can buy this, but I'm going to show you that in this video anyways. And then there's information about what this whole thing actually is and all that. So as an introduction, Brickken, basically the name came from two words, brick and token. Brick is basically a building tool in the real world, and token is a building tool in the blockchain. So they combined the brick and the token, then they made the whole project name called Brickken. They're saying that because it actually combines both worlds, the real world and the blockchain world, through security token offerings. And now I know you may be confused, what are those two worlds? How is it combining this? But don't worry, when we go through all this, you will understand completely what we're talking about here. So just remember this whole thing. I'm going to come back to this. It says Brickken is a decentralized token issuance platform that allows companies in the different sectors to create, issue, and manage their security token offerings. Now you may be getting like a hint of it. Like it kind of sounds like initial coin offering, ICOs. It's kind of like that. Yes, it does have some kind of not, I would say, linkage or any association, but yes, it's like an innovation of that concept. So we're going to talk about that. On August 2021, Brickken white paper went live. Sign up below to join our private sale running until February 28th. So this private sale will run until February 28th, and then it'll be for the public then. And currently you can get it at a discounted price, $0.80 US, but when it's available for the public, you will be able to get it for 0.1. So currently you can get it at a discounted price. Now there's the allocation, the roadmap, and the team that we're actually going to take a look at. And this is their whole white paper, which is really, really elaborative. So I'm not going to read out the whole thing, but I'm going to give you guys a summary of the entire, at least I'm going to try to give you guys the whole idea behind this whole thing, so that you don't have to read every single part of it to understand it. Now I know I'm kind of going or talking kind of fast, but don't worry, I'm going to try my best to make you guys understand this whole concept. Now, when I said that it has some kind of link to the ICOs, basically we know what ICOs are, initial coin offering. This concept started like back then, and in 2017 it kind of hit a peak. There were so many ICOs from different companies, billions of dollars were being raised. ICO is basically a initial coin offering. It's basically like a mechanism on how, if someone is starting a company, they put out this option. They put out this option of ICO, initial coin offering, in which they're saying that if you buy the token right now, you get it at a discounted price, so that in the future, when the company is developed based on the funds they receive on that initial coin offering, then those people who have bought the token at a lower price, in future they make a really good, profit. For example, when the Ethereum actually had an ICO, I'm not sure if it had an ICO or whatever, but it was kind of like an initial coin offering. So in that, people who bought those tokens, bought Ethereum, was for $0.3 US. So at that point, they were not investing in any token that had a utility, that had anything else. It was just based on a promise that in future, it will have a utility, it will have a product or service, and so actually I'm not gonna go there. So it basically was just based on a promise. People bought those. It was kind of like a risk, but they bought it, and in future, now you know what the price of Ethereum actually is. And this is how this whole thing actually works. This is why people buy the ICOs. The companies hold the ICOs so that they can generate the revenue to actually create the company. For example, if someone wants to open a casino, they have an ICO. They give people, those kind of like coins that actually runs in the casinos. I kind of slipped the word what it actually called, but they give that on a discounted price, so that when the casino actually is developed based on the price, based on the, the money they get from those tokens, people buying those tokens, the money that they get from there, they create the casino. And then when the people who have bought those tokens at a lower, price, at a discounted price, now they can, play in the casinos at a much, at a lower price, while other people are buying those coins or chips at a larger price. Now, this is the whole concept of the ICOs. Now, what happened was in 2017, people actually kind of grasped this concept that, okay, this is a really good way of, making money. How about we place an ICO? We create because for an ICO, all you need is to create some kind of website, and, just make a promise and all that. And people started scamming. Almost like 80% at that point, 80% of the ICOs were actually fake. They were scams. People were getting ripped off of their cash. And at that point, that became like a really big problem because there was no regulatory authority that is applied on the ICOs. Still, there is no regulatory authority that is applied on ICOs. They go completely unchecked, and that's the problem with the ICOs. Now, of course, that was not working. And they had to come up with different idea, different concepts, which is something we're going to go through. But anyways, this is the whole concept of ICOs. And then there comes the IPO, initial public offering. As you can see on my screen, I actually have written all those things. There comes the initial public offering, which is done for the companies in the real world. ICOs is basically in cryptocurrencies. There's digital coins. In IPOs, it's in the real world. So IPOs are basically initial public offering. They're they're also the ICOs, but in real world for real companies. For example, in the example of casino, that will be, well, not really, and it will be originally an IPO. Because it's done in the real world, there are regulatory authorities that are working on this. Especially there's Security and Exchange Commission that have their rules, anti-money laundering laws and all that is applied on it. So in this one, there can't be any scam. It doesn't leave any space for the scams. But the problem is, IPO is safe, but it is long, it is exhaustive, it's expensive, but it's safe. In comparison, the ICO, which is done in the digital world, it is fast, it is easy, it is cheap, but it is not safe. So you can see ICO have some pros and cons, and IPO have some pros and cons. So these are the two worlds that they are actually talking about. Now, STO, Security Token Offering, is a middle ground of ICO, which is fast, easy, but it has scams, and IPO, which is safe and vetted, but long, expensive, and exhaustive. So STO is basically a middle ground of both ICO and IPO. And this is like, a brief, concept that I could give you guys about the STO, so that you can have a general idea of what STO actually is. Why was it developed? Now, in STO, there are there are different regulations. Of course, it's not like it's regulated, but it's also like it's not regulated. Like, there's some certain requirements that it has to reach so that it goes unregulated. And because it have to fulfill all those requirements, those make it safe. There's different concept. The main one, or one of the main ones, is the lockup that is applied in case of STO. So in that case, when you fulfill all those requirements so that you don't get all those regulatory authorities to be applied on you, you have to fulfill all those requirements. And because of those, you make it safe. There's no chance of it being a scam and all that. So this is the whole concept of the SEO. I'm really sorry if I'm going really fast, but you can, go back and play it in a much slower, you can just lower the playback speed in there. So this is the whole concept of ICO, IPO, STO, utility tokens. Now is the concept of difference between utility token and the security token. Utility token is basically a promise of a product or service. So if a company holds let's say an ICO or IPO or IEO, which are different offerings, a utility token basically promise that in future there will be kind of like a product or service that you can buy using that token. For example, if there's the Starbucks gift card, you are given that at a discounted price before that Starbucks is actually developed. And since you pay for that card in a discounted price, that money, the Starbucks actually uses it to develop the whole Starbucks. And when it's developed, you can buy a coffee at a much discounted price. So utility token is basically a promise of a product or service, whereas a security token is basically a promise of profit, that in future you will be able to make a profit. That is this whole security token. Basically, you have different kind of securities, and when you tokenize them, you basically make a security token. So security token offering, a regulated offering, it's kind of like regulated or unregulated offering of tokenized financial assets to the public. And what are the security tokens? Security tokens represent financial assets, whether it can be bonds or shares or even gold. I think they are form of investment that promise a profit. Now, this basically is the whole concept of, there are multiple different videos, because in this one, my entire focus is not just this whole concept. I'm just giving you guys this build up so you can understand the project. But there are different videos out there that explain the whole concept of security token offering and security tokens. So I would suggest you guys, if you cannot understand this right now, because I'm kind of being brief about it, you can go watch those videos to learn about it, because in this one we have to cover the whole project too. So now that we have covered the entire concept of those, we're going to get into the actual project. Now, Brickken is that project, a decentralized project basically, that will be an issuance platform that people can place their security token offerings on. Not just that they can place it on there. This is the project where you can create, you can issue, and you can manage your security token offerings. So it's kind of like, those ICO launchpads in which different projects, different cryptocurrency projects are given this option that they can place their initial coin offering on that launchpad, on that website. This is just kind of like that, but instead of ICOs, it will allow people to place their STOs, not just like place their STOs, but they will actually equip them to create their STOs. And this is basically this whole project. The old concept, the ICOs are obviously, it will become obsolete at this point now that you have this option. And this is a pioneer project in there. So the whole concept, you can see, is really amazing because it ensures that people are not ripped off. They are not scammed. And the good thing about this whole project that I really liked is that this whole thing is basically decentralized. They have created this democratic environment, which I really like in there. Now that we have gone through all that thing, I'm kind of like exhausted myself. The private sale is going to end in this amount of days, 92 days. Currently, they have raised 35% of the private sale. They have 25 million Brickken tokens. Brickken tokens is the utility token of this, project. They have a total supply of about like 100 million, and 25 million is for the private sale. You can get it at a discounted price of $0.08 in future, probably in February or the 1st of March. When it's available for the public, it will be $0.1. So currently you can get it at a discounted price. This is their IDO, initial decentralized exchange offering. Now I think I should probably clear this out anyway, since I have cleared all the other stuff. You have ICO, you have IPO, you have STO, and then you also have IEO and IDO. IEO is basically initial exchange offering, in which you basically this is again the issuance of the tokens, but you do it in via a centralized exchange. And in turn, there's another concept, the IDO. In IEO, there's a centralized exchange in which you place the offering. In IDO, you basically are placing, or there's a public issuance that is done via a decentralized exchange, which is a much better option than ICO and IEO. So they are having their private IDO right now that you can take part in and get it at a much discounted price. All you have to do is basically click on the buy BKNs now. You will have to create an account first, and then when you create an account, you will have to fill out a form. When you fill out the form, you will have to give your email address. And then on your email address, you will receive a KYC form that you have to fill, because you have to pass the KYC, which is an essential process you have to go through. You have to prove that. And then when you have passed the KYC, which will be reviewed by the team, you will be given some sort of link which you can use to pay for the private sale, and it'll have different options, different stable coins. You can use credit card, debit card, PayPal, or other such options. It says USD, EUR, Euro, Ethereum, BNB, or stable coins. So you can use these methods. And this is the allocation for the team: investor, war chest, airdrop, advisors, liquidity pool, total. So you can come here and take a look at all these details for yourself. Now, another amazing thing about this project is basically their team, which is super qualified. And the whole team is actually doxed. You have their LinkedIn profile, their name, their department, their whole background, and all that stuff. So, and you can see how I would say exhaustive this kind of list actually is. So, this project is backed by a very competent team, which I think is the reason why the whole project is actually really stable. They have all sorts of blockchain experts, to legal, to marketing, to finance experts that are included in their team, which makes this project really amazing and safe. And this is their white paper. You have a lot of information, including their definitions. It says Brickken is creating a decentralized application, which provides the tools needed for individuals and businesses to issue their own security tokens anywhere in the world using state-of-the-art blockchain technology. Brickken's platform provides a user interface that is a best-in-class experience and easy to use. The platform opens opportunities to individuals and businesses looking for alternative methods of raising funds through tokenization. Now, there's the abstract, there's a lot of information, a lot of background information, but I think this one is kind of important. Bricken's vision is to create a self-sustained, self-governed, self-funded ecosystem focused on security token offerings, which will enable individuals and businesses to tokenize any asset within their own means anywhere in the world. So, since it is basically like decentralized, so people anywhere, everywhere, or anyone will be able to take benefit from this, if of course you fulfill all the criteria and requirements. Of course, not anyone can possibly do this. So you can see and take a look at the entire information. There are different kind of tokens: utility token, security token, which I already have gone through. We learned about the ICO and the IEO, and you can see they have also explained like the entire thing in here. So if you want a better explanation, you want to better understand this whole concept, of course you can come here and read this whole thing out. I'm going to go to the page 30 where they have information about the tokenomics, which is going to be probably the last thing that we're going to discuss in this, because as I can see, the time has exceeded in my count 20 minutes, which is not usual time for the videos that I make. So there's going to be the issuance will have an initial limit of 100 million Brickken tokens. For the IDO, it says for this amount, the IDO will deposit 12 million into the Uniswap pool to ensure stability of the token. The pool will be funded with USDC. USDC is a stable coin that is pegged to the US dollar, so it has the same price as the US dollar. The initial open price will be 0.1 Brickken per USDC, which it will be the initial price, but in the private sale you can get it as 0.8 US dollars, so you get it at a discounted price. This implies that there will be 1,200,000 USDC in the pool at the time of closing. Now there's more information about it here. We already have seen the allocation, which is already there in their website, so you can of course come there and take a look at it. There's information about the private sale, public sale, the allocations in there, and the information about the team. So I think we basically have covered the entire thing. The last thing is the roadmap, so I'm just going to go through it. In the quarter 3 of 2021, decentralized journey begins. White paper publication, private sale of Brickken utility tokens begin. Development of the MVP, which is the D app. They will be beginning that in the quarter 3, which is I think probably right now. Supporters, community creation, influencer and advisors partnership. Quarter 4, private sale of Brickken utility tokens continue. MVP development continues. Activating sales funnel partners for distribution, clients for D app. Activating marketing machine. Quarter 1 of 2022. Closing of Brickken private sale MVP. First public testing, monetization, launch of Brickken public sale IDO. So this will be done in quarter 1 of 2022, which will be probably the 1st of March. And then in the quarter 2, implementing features on MVP, team hirings, deploying marketing machine 2.0, activating sales machine. And then in quarter 3 and quarter 4 of the 2022, there will be improvements in their D app, improving workflows in the D app based on the generated data, team hiring, setting up the DAO of Brickken, engaging companies for funding social initiatives and ECG implementation. So they will be setting up the entire decentralized autonomous organization of the Brickken, and people will be actually able to make passive income with the Brickken token too. There will be a lot more stuff into it that'll be coming in the future. So in conclusion, I would say that I think that this whole project is kind of overwhelming, but it's really, really amazing. You currently are getting a really good option that you can buy it at a discounted price at 0.8 US dollar. So in future, of course, the price is going to be increased. In the public offering, it will be for 0.1 US dollar. So make sure that you do not miss this amazing opportunity. The procedure is really simple. You will not have any trouble in this. There's video that explain the entire thing on how you can buy this token. So make sure that you follow them on basically everywhere. Join the Telegram group, follow them on Twitter, join the Discord server, and follow them on Reddit and Facebook and all that. That is actually linked right here, and I'll place the links in the description too, so make sure that you get it from there. And basically this is the entire information that I have for you guys in this amazing project. Disclaimer: trading digital assets involves significant risk and can result in the loss of your invested capital. You should ensure that you fully understand the risk involved and take into consideration your level of experience, investment objectives, and seek independent financial advice if necessary. It is up to you whether to invest or not. If there's something you don't know, please don't hesitate to ask me. So guys, I'm really happy to introduce you guys to this wonderful project. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you in the next video shortly. So stay tuned.